So, at the moment, there is a very, very, very important industrial dispute going on. And one of the things that we're going to be doing with this media outlet is to give a platform to people who most of the media otherwise either ignore or marginalize or attack. And we do live in a country where most of the British media are as hostile as possible to working people when they take action to defend themselves, their rights, their security, and their pay, and they attack the biggest democratic movement in the country, the trade unions, and treat them as though they have no democratic legitimacy, whilst bosses are put on TV and radio as though they're impartial voices. So this is very important. Across the country right now, British gas workers are on strike. Their terms and conditions are under attack. Now, this is a terrible crisis we're all in, but that's not an excuse to ignore the attacks taking place against working people at an already pretty horrific time. So I'm very, very honoured to be able to introduce our final guest today, Paul Voles, who is calling from Cannock. He's a service and repair engineer. Paul, I'm going to give you the floor. Firstly, could you just explain to us, give us just set out exactly. I mean, firstly, solidarity and huge support to you. Just tell us, what have British Gas done? Why have you gone on strike?
We've gone on strike because they're attempting to put fire and rehire against us. I mean, we've had engineers who worked throughout the pandemic. You know, they were delivering to food banks. For the Trussell Trust, they went into COVID positive properties, right? And we've been rewarded with fire and rehire tactics against us to take over our contracts. You know, it's left the engineers feeling. Myself, I've never suffered from anxiety or stress, and I can tell you now, I've had anxiety, stress, sleepless nights over this. You know, and it's been absolutely horrific. And for a company to treat its workforce like this, when we've given our absolute all, just, you know, it's disgusting. Really, it really is disgusting.
I mean, Paul, you know, at the beginning of the crisis, I know they've tried to resuscitate it. It was all the applause for key workers throughout the country, and we live in a country where, you know, look, ministers and so on, they can isolate, they can work from home. A lot of people in middle-class office jobs, a lot of people, journalists, people like myself, can work at home. What's it been like for you? Because you've had to keep doing your job when there's a virus which is circulating, which has killed tens of thousands of our fellow citizens, and you've had to put yourself at risk, haven't you, throughout?
Well, on a personal level, my youngest daughter suffers from epilepsy, so she's prone to viruses and things like that. But we've just had to carry on and just, you know, go into COVID positive properties, and, you know, not knowing when you go into a property whether there's going to be COVID there. I mean, you try your best to protect yourself and do all the things that you're told to do, but, you know, you're inside that property, and, you know, people have been very nervous about it. The company has kind of expected us to work in COVID positive properties, almost encouraged us that we should be working in COVID positive properties. And, you know, to then turn around after we've delivered food parcels to the Trussell Trust and sort of say, we're taking your contracts from you, you know, it's just disgusting. It's abhorrent. It really is, you know. I never thought a company, a brand like British Gas would do that to their workforce. Never thought it could happen, but it has, and it's, you know, it's left us feeling absolutely disgusted.
Well, rightly so. I mean, just tell us, what are the kind of key demands that you're calling upon, and tell me, because, you know, a lot of you have families, a lot of people on strike have families. So tell us why, you know, this is important. This is for you're trying to support your family. So just tell us about those demands. And
a lot of people think that a strike is about money or something like that. This isn't about money. This is about time off with our family. I've got two daughters, right, both under 3, and this is going to take the time that I spend with them away from me. They're going to be growing up, and I'm going to be expected to do hour after hour, extra hour for no extra money. And they're taking our contracts away from us that I've held for 18 years. You know, this is going to have a massive, massive impact on my family, and I just can't accept the contract that they're trying to give us. You know, it's just disgusting.
What would you like people to do in order to support? I mean, there's obviously a lot. The hashtag has been very, very much in presence tonight. Hashtag stop the British gas fire. Look on that on Twitter, everyone, by the way, because if you go on that hashtag on Twitter, you'll see lots of striking gas workers talking about their experiences, talking about what they're going through, give you a real insight of other people like Paul across the country, what they're currently going through at the moment. But, I mean, what kind of support would you like people watching? What would you like them to do?
Listen, the campaign's been very difficult. We've had a complete and utter media blackout for whatever reason that is. Probably political. It's also been, there's things going on in the world where we haven't had the media coverage for whatever reason. There's a lot of political reasons for that. There really is. And what I would really like is if anybody watching or there's anybody who's going to catch up on this podcast, just please go on to the Stop the British Gas Fire hashtag and just share all our videos and just see everything on there, because you'll understand the whole story. The mainstream media is giving us no coverage whatsoever. This Twitter and social media is our only way to show what's really happening. It's our only way, and we just need the great British public to just get behind us, because if this is allowed, this will go across every single company in this land, and the great British people need to wake up and see what's happening and what's going to happen to people's working contracts. It's happening to us. And I must admit, when it was happening to British Airways, I did take notice. But when it's happening to you, when it's your working contract being taken away from you, it's held for 18 years, there's nothing worse. Honestly, it's had such an impact.
I mean, just that final point I think is really important, that point about solidarity, because you're not just what you just said there is kind of not just striking for yourself. You're kind of trying to set an example. Other workers across the country are getting screwed over as well. And what you're saying is, I guess, fight back. I mean, you're trying to say that if workers like yourselves fight, if others take that example, then workers can win. And there have been recent disputes, of course, where workers have won by standing their ground.
Absolutely. I mean, this has been so difficult for us. The company has tried to split us now for months and months and months. They've tried every tactic in the book to split us. And I'm so proud of the British Gas engineers for standing together, not getting divided. And we've stood up to them. And it is absolutely fantastic. It's a fantastic feeling to stand up and not be beaten by these people. Not be beaten, not allow them to just come in and bully and intimidate us and try and take our contracts from us. It's a fantastic feeling. We have had so much solidarity. We don't want to be on strike. There's snow and ice on the ground out there. If they stop this fire and rehire, we'll get back in our vans tonight and we'll go and help our customers. This isn't about money. This is about a lot deeper than that. It's nothing to do with money. We accepted pay freezes. We'll take pay freezes, but we cannot have our family time taken away from us. It's unfair. We already work so many hours. We work loads of weekends. We work late, and we cannot have any more.
Well, Paul, I mean, it's really inspirational to hear that, and hugely courageous. And I think people who haven't gone on strike before, don't know what a strike's like, don't know maybe much about unions. People who do know, the last thing people ever want to do is go on strike. You really have to be pushed to your absolute limit to even consider going on strike. No one does it frivolously. No one does it for a bit of a laugh. It's because people have been pushed too far. So I just want to say this, Paul, hugely inspired by that. Please, as he's just said, you can see in the back, you can see the hashtag. Click on it, share it. Let's break the silence.
Please just go on there and just see all the stories, just see all the photos, just see what British Gas means to us. British Gas means the world to us, and it's given me a good life. And I'm not going to knock the company from the past. It's given me a good life, but the way they've dealt with this, it's just disgusting. And honestly, if you can just share our story, share our videos, share everything on there, because we're not going to get any joy out of the mainstream media. We need the great British public behind us on social media, and if we can do that, we can win. We can win, and if we win, everybody else can win as well when it's you, because the people support you as well. We need to stop this. We need to stop it.
An injury to one is an injury to us all. And I'll be doing my best, by the way, to hopefully I'll be writing about this myself this week in The Guardian. So hopefully that will break a bit of the silence, as has this, because you've rallied people and everyone go, let's all do exactly as Paul just said. And I'll be clipping this video as well. So it'll be a separate video for people to be able to share and show a bit of support. But thanks so much. That was hugely, hugely inspiring. And as you've said, I hope people listen to what Paul said and take that as an example. If you're a worker, join a union, go to the TUC website, type in TUC, you can find out which union you should join, get in touch with your other workers, unionize, and fight back, because in the coming months, what's going to happen? The government buggered up this crisis, they screwed up this crisis, and they're going to expect working people to pay. And people, if workers fight back, as Paul and others are doing right now, they won't be able to do that. So take this example. This is leadership. This is courage. And it's been a huge honor. So thank you so much, Paul, and all my solidarity.
Yeah, Owen, thank you, because you've allowed us to come on here. You've given me a voice. And for that, however many people are going to watch this, for giving us a voice, I am truly thankful to you, Owen. Thank you very much.
It should go without saying, I can promise you. And I wish the rest of the media did the job they should be doing. But I'll be standing with you all the way and keep fighting. Cheers, Paul. Take care of yourself now, and I'll speak to you soon.